7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have ignition.
All right. I think last episode we talked a lot about triathlon training. We missed it, didn't quite record it, but actually that probably was better because we went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's redacted. It's it's the dark files of the rest period.
The dark files, you'll never find them, but it probably actually gave us some good things to think about with this talk. So I thought a little bit more about some stuff we talked with the triathlon training. And I know Goggins has been, pounding the gravel, getting after it. But Goggins, for you, we talked a lot about the triathlon training and all this stuff. How's your body feel? Where are we at? I know you're kind of going through a lot of volume here. So where are we at?
I feel great right now because I didn't work out last weekend.
Yeah,
I was at a bachelor party.
Yeah.
I was down in Charlotte. It is funny, like when you just take like 3 days off of a program, your body feels better than ever. So it's kind of a nice preview of knowing that I can feel terrible and then just rest for 2 or 3 days and just have, a ton of energy in the tank. So yeah, getting back after it this week, I feel good. I got about a month. or 5 weeks out to the half Ironman. I feel confident for the half. The full will be obviously a bit more difficult, but yeah, I feel ready to go. I feel like at this point it's kind of just part of what I'm doing, and I kind of got over the hurdle of where it stressed me out to now it's like I feel pretty confident that I can do it. And I think that's largely just because I took a few days off, honestly. Yeah.
And I know you've been running, biking. Swimming hasn't been like huge volume, right? Mm-hmm. If we're kind of looking at your plan. So let's talk about 5 weeks out. You're going to taper into this half. What does that look like for you? I know a lot of people have different variations on tapering, but what do you kind of expect with your taper into the half and how you'll feel? Even after what you just said, you got to rest a little bit, you feel better. Yeah. Kind of explain that for where you're kind of thinking.
So I'm doing a program tailored to the full. So the half has a small taper. It's not much. It's okay. Like the weekend before, I still do a full 6 hour workout. The weekend, and then it's basically that week of like the 5 days leading up to the race. You only do probably 3 hours total across those 5 days. So it really settles down those couple days right before. And I think that'll feel really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be in the car driving out to Idaho, so it'll be nice to just focus on driving and going on maybe a couple hikes or something, and then, just doing the race on the race day. But yeah, I feel like the half Ironman I'm really not too worried about. I think, like, gun to my head, I probably could have done that before I started any training.
Yeah.
So it's more of just like a nice benchmark, I think, to be like, can I finish this? Can I feel good? And kind of like a test going through all 3 phases, test your transitions, and spend enough time in each that you get tired, but not so much that you're gonna have to recover for very long afterwards. Because the big thing is, like, afterwards, even like I think you take one rest day and then you're like right back to the program the following week.
Yeah.
So that'll be the thing, is like afterwards you really just come out of it and keep going.
Yes, you're not expecting to push to 100% potentially, just because really the plan is to go after the full, right? So you don't want to go to that point of like, hey, I'm almost at rhabdo. I just talked to my client, Shelly, whose brother did a half, and he basically went into, I mean, not maybe quite rhabdo, but like he really was struggling. He qualified for Kona, which obviously, like, he had a great time, did great, but put himself in a place of like he couldn't do much for 3 or 4 days. So my suggestion to you, and you already know this, but probably go like 85%, right? Like keep a lot of your energy back and just say, you know what, like it's not zone 2, but like I'm not going to give everything. And tapering, like you just said, you could technically do work on Friday before you do a half on Saturday or Sunday. It's more the volume. It's deloading. It's, realizing you can still work out with deloads or tapers. It's just doing less intensity, less volume. So cutting from 15 or 16 hours down to 2 or 3 hours, obviously is a huge taper. So that's always good suggestions for, any coach would tell you that.
It is wild. Yeah. It is wild how you feel when you take a couple of days off. Cause I did a 10K like the morning before I flew to Charlotte, and I just felt exhausted. And then I didn't train Friday and Saturday. I just did like a chill bike in the hotel on Sunday. Then I ran a 10K on Monday, and it was like super easy. It was like, you don't even feel like you're working. So it's really just taking a couple of days off that like your body just, gets all full of energy again. You're ready to go.
And you're fully allowed to recover, right? So, I mean, it's hard because you kind of can't recover too much during your given weeks right now, right? You have so much volume and you're working a full-time job and, go down a list of what you're trying to accomplish, right? So just imagine if you had a whole week or so where I don't have to work as hard, maybe 20 hours of work. You have, 3 or 4 hours of less intense exercise. It's kind of super compensation is what it's called. So super compensation, basically what happens is, normally you're a pretty good athlete. You kick the shit out of your body with what you're doing, right, Goggins? And you actually drop below your normal. You don't PR anything. You're not feeling great. And then what you do is you go in through the taper deload phase. You could use either word, I guess, but, and then you actually allow super compensation. So you actually get faster than you've ever been in your life. You jump higher, it depends on the sport, but super compensation is very interesting with physiology because your body is allowed to fully recover and rest, and then you're actually at a higher point than you ever have been. So people don't realize with recovery, that's what's going on is, you're basically repairing your body as you're recovering. Your muscles get stronger, you get more explosive. But then as soon as you get back to the work, it starts going the other way, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's always fun. Like tapering, obviously, into some event, it's amazing. You feel great. But don't forget, you got to get back to the work. The work is where obviously all this stuff happens. But a lot of people get confused. Like they're not PRing all the time and I know we've already talked about this, but you're not confused on this. It's hard. Like the volume, you don't feel great every day. Right. But as soon as you get that super compensation, you're running a 6-minute mile and you're like, I had no clue I could do that. That's the kind of stuff that starts happening, right? But yeah, it's kind of cool in that way.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. A lot of people I've heard talk about it are always saying that the couple days before their Ironman is like the best they ever felt. Yeah. And on the start line, they're like, I haven't felt this good in 6 months. Yeah. So
you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's great,
just
man.
Feel kind of charged up and ready to go. Yeah. Ready to get after it on the day of. So. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what it is too. It's super compensation, right? You're going to feel so good. You're going to feel so energized. The hard part for you is you then have to return into your training, right? For the full, which I know we've talked about this, but you're just mentally, you're so strong. And I love that, Goggins, because you accept this pain. It's going to be tough. And I think anyone could hear this message and realize, hey, if that's your goal to do a full Ironman, that's great, right? This could apply to other things though, right? So it's like anything where it's difficult and I have to push myself to a high level. You kind of have to accept that at some point it's going to get really brutal. You're going to be laying in bed on a Wednesday morning, hard to get out of bed. And it's just kind of part of the process, right? Like you kind of have to accept that. But from a recovery standpoint, we've talked a little bit about this, but what have you found has helped you the most? Like during your tough weeks where you're feeling a little bit tired, all the volumes hitting, have you felt anything specifically where, you've kind of felt better with certain training tools or things you've done?
I think the longer I do this, the more sensitive I just become to eating. I think that's honestly the biggest thing. If you're having a hard week, as long as you're getting enough calories, that's the difference maker. Because you can have a light week, and if you don't eat right and you do a 2-hour workout, you might just feel like a zombie. Or you could have a week where you're pushing really hard, but like you're replacing your calories and you're timing your workouts well with your meals, and they just kind of melt away. So that's really it for me, is just watching what I eat. But even like more so than what I eat, it's just like the timing and quantity of what I eat. Like eating in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and getting the right amount of food. So you're always like, you're never too full, but you're also never hungry. It's just kind of like the steady.
Yeah.
And during the workouts too, I mean, that's huge. Just replacing your electrolytes and your salt as you're running or biking is a huge difference maker. And a lot of the time, like you might feel tired. You don't really attribute it to your calories or to your sugar or salt. But if you just kind of do the math before you start and bring the right amount of stuff with you on the workout and just kind of force yourself to eat every 20 minutes, that makes a huge difference. You can feel fresh all the way through a 3-hour workout because you just kind of keep getting those kicks from when you're metabolizing the carbs. So.
Yeah. And I think we missed the last episode you explained this, but you're at 100 grams per hour, right?
Yeah,
which is like the
100 grams
highest in my research. And I know you researched it. That's the highest you can go. And then what electrolytes are you taking in? What's the kind of the electrolyte you choose? Cause there's a lot out there, but
yeah, I do Morton as a brand. And that's really just because they're like they sponsor Ironman. So they'll be everywhere on race day. So
great. Yeah.
You know, if you're on your bike and your bottle drops or whatever, you know, they'll have it at the next station.
Yeah.
And then I recently just got a bag of like salt, a variety of things. I haven't tried all of them, but I don't actually know the brands there, but they're basically just like different salt mixes that you're supposed to. And I haven't really tried much of this. I only did I think one long workout with some salt, but on the bike, it made a really big difference to just kind of like mix one of these salt packets in with your carbs or with your electrolytes. And that, because I was starting to get bad cramps after like 3 hours on the bike, and I think that helps a lot. So just doing that throughout.
You should do this and sometime in the future. So my client Shelly at the University of Georgia did a specific test on her sweat. I'd actually be very interested in what you're sweating out the most, because sometimes, like you're saying, if you're a heavy salt sweater, bam, salt makes the difference, right? But some people lose different things at different levels, right? So that'd be kind of intriguing to see, like, specifically what are you sweating out the most? Yeah, for you, it's probably salt, right? But let's say calcium, magnesium, there's certain things you're deficient in. It's like if you kind of fill those gaps in with like, hey, this specifically is what is happening. That'd be kind of fun too.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
she actually got a test on this.
Really?
And she's like, oh my goodness, that's so cool.
Did she go down to Georgia for that, or she like descended?
Yeah, she was down somewhere at a triathlon. Again, I'll have to specifically ask her again, but she got this sweat test during this triathlon. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. So I'm like, that actually makes a difference, like knowing, oh, I got to replace this versus that, because not everyone sweats the same, obviously. But I think what you're saying is you feel a difference already with the salts and the different things you're doing. So you're probably mainly a salt sweater, right? You already feel the change. But I think this is all very fun stuff to talk about, because it's like, again, I'm not saying everyone listening to us does triathlons, but let's say you're just doing aerobic training or you're just, whatever, you play basketball, you do anything that's just kind of active and good. People sometimes don't realize, because they just like, I'm just going to drink water. I'm not, I don't eat food during my workouts that are longer in duration. It's good to learn this stuff. Like, hey, carbs are good, right? Like actually electrolytes are a positive thing that you should kind of add into your routine. So, and it doesn't have to be triathlon training, but a basketball game, a football game, you're getting enough sweat where it's like you should actually have the same thought process and maybe have carbs. My coach in college, they had Gatorade at the time, right? I was kind of forced, like that's what we had. But we also had like oranges and, bananas and things like that, where we kind of focus on those things, make sure you have some energy, especially when it's hot. People don't realize too, warm environments, like you might need way more than if you're in a cold environment. So warm environments, you might have to double what someone in a cold environment's doing. So those are things, you're going to Boise. Are you thinking that's going to be hard on your system, or are you kind of like, hey, we'll kind of see how it plays out?
I haven't thought that deeply about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the big thing will be the elevation. It is like 5,000 feet of elevation.
I think that might affect you more than you think, right?
I think it will.
Electrolytes, carbs, making sure you're keeping up with it. Because, a lot of the famous stories with like the Grand Canyon, for example. So in Arizona, you don't sweat, but people are so dehydrated they die because they don't feel it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a lot of times, and we studied this in exercise physiology back when I was in college. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my gosh, like Grand Canyon, think about it. You're not sweating the same as you do in Wisconsin. Boise, you could have some of the similar effects of like, you might not feel the same amount of sweat happening, but you need to do the same amount of hydration, right? So some people get confused because they don't feel the sweat. It's not coming on their body. They're not, the salt's not there. But making sure you have a system, which is, that's what you're saying. But those are things that kind of bring into it too. Like I thought about that when we talked the last time. I'm like, man, Boise might be different than Wisconsin in that way, right?
I haven't really trained at all for the elevation, so that's definitely the variable. I did a run like in Park City. It was like a few months ago, but you feel it immediately when you try to go for a run. But if anything, I'm like, okay, it's good because it'll be harder. I think it'll help me. I kind of like that when there's like the variables that make it harder than you expect, because I think that like just in the whole scheme of your training, that's good for you to have like kind of the unexpected challenges and like every race be kind of different. I do think it's a river swim, so I assume it'll be downriver, which means the swim will be easier. And it's a fairly flat course, so I really think just the elevation is the one piece.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of exciting for you though. The variables are different than Wisconsin, but kind of something you're going to go find out what your body's got, right? And you already have kind of your system with carbs. Obviously, you have electrolytes kind of figured out. So it'd be fun. They should do this on all triathlons. They should offer up this test though on your sweat. Like that'd be so cool if they would do that for you. Cool. I doubt they have it at Boise, but just intriguing stuff, right? So anything else you want to add to the triathlon stuff? Anything else from an advice piece or, for anyone listening?
Nothing really top of mind for me, honestly. I'm just still checking boxes, trying to keep going longer and feeling better, and just keep the slow burn going. I think it's doing the first one from everything I've seen and like I've experienced seems like it's the biggest hurdle. So I'm looking forward to getting this one done and then just kind of reevaluating and picking the next destination or race I want to do. Because I mean it's a fun challenge, and it's as long as you have the time for it, it's super doable. Like I think anyone who puts their mind to it can do one. So that's what's cool about it, is there's really no inhibitor to doing it. Like they can be a little bit expensive, but you can do them cheap if you're smart about like what you're spending your money on. And I mean they're everywhere. Like even last weekend there was like 4 of them. Like 4 halves and maybe a full around the country. So it's a cool community, and it's massive. Yeah. So
one was in Rockford, right?
Yeah. Actually, my brother-in-law did the Rockford one. He got a flat tire and he still went sub 5, which is crazy to me. I don't know how you go that fast. So I got to pick his brain for some of
So he got a
tips.
flat. He had to replace it, right?
Yeah, I think
during the race.
I haven't talked to him. I just was texting him, and he ran at like a 6:40 something on the half marathon, and he it was like his bike times were funny because he was like 8 miles an hour the first block and like 24 miles an hour from there. And I'm like, something definitely happened right off the block there. But that's what I'm trying to be ready for, because like that can totally happen. Like especially like for him, it's like I'm sure he wanted to qualify for different races, and he's been doing these for a couple of years, and the next thing you know, you get off the bike and a mile in, your tire pops, and you get to spend the next 30 minutes fixing it. Yeah. So you're not. Yeah. Like you're racing.
I didn't know that was coming.
This isn't the race I was visualizing. Yeah. But I mean, good for him. He went sub 5. That's wild with even with that happening. So
also we missed this. It's in the dark file somewhere. Use icy hot. So anyone listening, so Matt and I talked on the dark files that we lost, but use icy hot. So I was explaining last time that when I ran a marathon, something I felt was my forearms cramping, my biceps cramping, because Matt and I were big built dudes. You understand, right? You guys all see what we're, but if you have a little bit more muscle on your body, sometimes forearms, biceps, different things cramp up a little bit. And icy hot, definitely, if you put it on there quickly, that cramp immediately goes away and you feel better, like snap your fingers. So icy hot's a main one that I think it's great. I think it's incredible actually how it can like fix that immediately. And for me, it wasn't an electrolyte. Like I was drinking and eating. It's just my forearms because of the position I was in, and I'm a little bit muscular. Like it's like, holy crap, my muscles can't handle that position for that long. So it's just something to think about, Matt. But I know we talked about this already. But and I know Goggins was like, yeah, I'm a built dude. I do a lot of bicep curls, so. Yeah, he's thinking about it. His biceps might cramp up on him.
Look at this right here. As we speak, I'm adding it to my Amazon cart before I forget. I got to get a little of this icy hot.
Yeah, and anyone doing a try, go on your Amazon cart now. Add it right now. Anyways, kind of something to get your mind on. Okay.
Use code Krogman at checkout.
Yeah, code Krogman, 20% discount. I'm joking. I don't have a discount. Anyways, so. Okay, I was gonna swing in a few things here, Matt, and you can add in because you know a lot of stuff. But SpaceX, tell me, SpaceX, the stock, the investment, the company. What do you think about the prospects of this company? Because Elon Musk, obviously, the IPO just dropped.
Yeah,
now it's last week, but
never seen $1 trillion move so quick.
It's unbelievable, right? They're the fifth biggest company in America now by market share, which is insane, by the way. Like it makes no sense. But anyways, I just think it's incredible with this IPO dropping. This is a pretty big deal. There's a lot of other big deals that have happened in the last week, honestly. But SpaceX, a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are interested in some takes on what's going on. Obviously, from the satellite perspective and all the things Elon Musk has done, he's pretty incredible. We were talking about financials a little bit yesterday. I've listened to a few people talk about the financial side of SpaceX. It's all projection based stuff, right? But a lot of people are questioning whether this IPO should have come out so hot. What do you think? Are you one of those guys who sees the future like, man, that could actually be amazing? Are you kind of like, I don't know, we'll wait and see? Where are you at with it, Goggins? Because I know we already talked a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, I would say more so than any of the other trillion-dollar companies. SpaceX, you're making a bet on Elon and on his planning, right? Like his agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, if in 10 years we're shooting rockets and data centers into space, and that's where we're doing most of our computing, it's a great play. I think they're already doing a ton of stuff with just providing infrastructure for big AI companies, and we already know that's like a $5 trillion market.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, if you believe in AI and if you believe in space travel, it's a decent place to put your money. I never want to buy something that close to an IPO because it's just so volatile.
Yeah.
I would give it like a couple of years. And right now it's pretty much complete speculation right now. Like inevitably at some point it'll be worth half of what it is today. The question is like when, but also at some point it could be worth 20 times that. Yeah. Like you always see that with IPOs. They pop big in the first quarter and then they generally kind of fall back to a reasonable baseline and then the real growth starts. So I think it's an exciting time for obviously for like Elon and for engineers and for people kind of looking at the stars, but there's so much hype right now. It's like anytime that you start getting your money tied up in things that are so focused on, it's just highly risky.
Well, it's a very short-term investing play, right? So
yeah.
I think that's what you're saying.
It's not going anywhere. I mean, it's not a public market now, so just give it a year.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna buy it, buy dollar cost average over the next year.
Yeah.
Don't just buy it right now. So
I completely agree. I would say this too. If anyone's like, hey, I'm going to invest in this, I'm going to swing at it and see what happens. If you're like playing with money, that's fine. But like, if you're like, hey, I need investments to grow over 4 or 5 years. This one is definitely a questionable one to me. I think there's a lot of other options. So I've had a few people talk to me or ask me about this one. The economic and all the things that have happened on this company, I think it's going to be great. Like it's going to be amazing, this company, right? It's going to be great over the next 10 years. Over the next 4 or 5 years, I have no freaking clue though. Like if you look at what it's saying and the money they're making today, it's all, like you said, it's all Elon and obviously his momentum. But the company has not made the money yet. So it's like, I don't think I would ever tell someone, unless they have crazy amounts of money that they just don't care and they can play around. I don't think I'd tell anyone to invest in this right now. I think it's actually a bad play. And I think that's what you said, Matt. You're kind of saying, hey, just wait a year or so. But if someone was like, hey, I have $5,000 and I really need to make money, and I have a few years and I need to make, I want to double my money in the next 4 or 5 years. This one to me is one you could lose money quickly. Again, I think the IPO is way too highly, priced out. I think it's way too high. So there's so many other options. So that's what we got to throw that out to the internet. And like, I've heard crazy takes on this one. I've heard, it's going to go crazy. It's going to go up by 10x in the next 4 or 5 years. I don't see like where people are, if you look at their financials, that makes no sense. It's kind of like Tesla. Yeah. It's like Tesla took a long time to blow up. And you have a specific story on Tesla, I think, but Tesla didn't immediately go to where it is today, right? It took a very long time. And then once the company actually made more sense, and Elon comes through a lot of times, but I think he plays a lot of these tactics of like, he'll say all these things that don't come true. Again, you have to look at your financials. You can't just like trust Elon will say everything that's true. You have to look at his numbers. You have to look at the company. You have to dial into what he's actually doing. Because if you just trust Elon, well, he could fool you too, and he could lie about some stuff. So I don't like that. I don't like the fact that the financials are saying one thing and then the projections are saying another thing, right? So that's just how I think about it. Again, I'm not saying it's not a good company. I think a 5-year play would be fine, maybe, for someone that has a lot of money. But if someone has, very limited cash flow and doesn't have a lot to invest, I don't see this being a good play at all. I actually think it's one you should avoid because you could lose a lot of money. And I truly think that. I think it's one that could go down a lot and it could stay down for a while. But Elon could come through. So in the next 5 years, he could do something magical. We all know Elon, he's so good, but I just think he lies about some stuff from marketing, advertising ends, right? So,
and this is it's already over $1 trillion market cap. So if you believe in SpaceX, I mean, it's already highly speculative, right? So if you invest in it today, for that company to 10x, there's got to be so much liquidity coming off of the market, off of other companies. Like that's a high enough volume that it's hard to even just come up with that money in our economy to 10x it, right? Because then it'd be a $10 trillion company. That's enormous. Yeah. But like the smart thing a lot of people do, say you actually do believe in SpaceX, is like look at the other materials that they're consuming or the other companies that they're doing business with, and try to find opportunities that are undersized. So like say they're doing all this, whatever. This is an example. I don't know if it's true, but they're doing all of this AI infrastructure work, and they're using a particular kind of warehousing for the servers, and it's like, okay, well, go look at the companies that are doing that warehousing, building those component parts, see which ones of those are undervalued, and put your money there, because it's like they're so large right now. There's certainly other companies that they're going to be doing business with, or that will get like the peripheral lift from them that are underpriced. I've done that like a bit in the past, and like I've done decently just by like investing in other either like chip companies or like different kind of peripheral parts, rather than like the like Amazon, Google, all these big tech companies. Obviously, they've been on like an insane tear for the last 20 years, but a lot of them just don't grow as fast as these kind of smaller market cap peripherals. Obviously, you have some more risk when you're investing in like the peripherals products because they're dependent on these kind of anchoring companies. But if you're really trying to look for that, needle in the haystack, you kind of gotta go a layer deeper. Yeah. But in general, like I would just buy ETFs, just trust the market, because that's really the only way you're gonna have guaranteed sustained growth. Yeah. So
we talked. I mean, we have an episode a long time ago about financials and all the investing stuff, but it applies more to like SpaceX is a good example. Like when Tesla came out, or Nvidia or Apple or any of these companies started, obviously like no one really knew what would happen, right? Apple has sustained crazy success for a very, very long time, right? So a lot of times what I've seen too is like people in their younger years, it's like gambling, right? Like you go to the bets, you play cards or crap, whatever you like, blackjack or, to me, like I'm 40, I have 3 kids, like I can't gamble. Like, so that's what I'm saying with SpaceX. It's a gamble. It's like going to play blackjack right now to me. You might win, but you might lose. And I can't take that risk, right? So now if you're someone, again, if you have a lot of money, you're not talking the same language as what I'm talking about, right? If you have $500,000 to throw in the market, you don't care. Great, good, go get it. But I think for most people that are investing, they kind of miss on like what investing actually is, right? You should be looking for more stable, long-term growth. You shouldn't be looking for short-term gain. And this is kind of a common problem in our society. People want quick things. They want to make money immediately, right? And SpaceX, this is what I've seen with SpaceX. People are trying to play that game. They're trying to make money quickly. They're trying to gamble fast and hope that it works out, right? I think, Matt, what you're saying actually makes way more sense. Like, hey, dollar cost average across time. If you really want to invest in a company like this, do it over 10 years. And I guarantee you'll probably make money if you do that for 10 years. NVIDIA, like you could do, you could have done the same thing, or AMD or any of these companies that obviously are now exploded, right? It's just more that people do, they throw money into a certain stock, right? And they truly are hoping that they triple their money quickly so then they don't have to do this long term. And it's just like, that's the wrong way to invest your money. I'm sorry. Like, unless you are crazy rich, which most of our society is up, debt up to their eyeballs. So most of the society we're talking to, they don't have this kind of money. So yeah, I think for young people or people in debt, they should not be looking at things like a gamble. They should more, like steady investing. S&P 500 obviously is a good play. But there's so many mutual funds that, again, mutual funds are looked down upon almost in the investing world, which is funny to me. You can look at past history on mutual funds. You could see all these mutual funds with 12 to 20% growth over 10 years. And you're not trusting just one company. Again, I think in our society, we are so quick to just try to make the 100% of gains quickly versus just kind of living that life of like, hey, I'm steadily just building my wealth behind the scenes. And that's how I do it. I do it a little bit more steady. Again, I might make a little bit less money in the 10 to 20 year plan, but I take less risk than the person that throws a bunch of money at one stock and hopes for the best, right? So, and I think that's the better way to invest with your money. You should not be playing games. You shouldn't be gambling. I just wanted to say that about SpaceX. I think it's truly a gamble. I think in the long term, it's going to be a good company. I actually heard this take from one person. They said, if you believe in SpaceX a ton, right, and you love it, and you really think Elon's going to come through, SpaceX will be in a ton of mutual funds in the future, right? Yeah. So if you really truly think that's a good company, that's great. So what they do with mutual funds is, okay, SpaceX will be, basically put in a pot with, let's say 20 other companies in a mutual fund. And, based on the percentages, let's say SpaceX is 20% in this certain mutual fund. Other companies like Apple or Tesla or whoever it may be, they group them together. So you're mutually kind of investing in all these companies together. That's probably a better plan for most people that are not super, educated on the stock market, right? Because they're not going to understand, okay, SpaceX did this, it's going to go down or up or all around, right? So, if you study the stock market every day and you know this stuff, obviously you can take more swings. But I think for most people listening, they're like, they probably should stop trying to gamble so much and just be more like steady about all the stuff they're doing, right? And you'll make more money in the long term usually doing it that way.
Yeah, just pay your debts and then take 20% of the dollars you make and put it in the market every paycheck. Yeah. But the one other thing that is kind of interesting, if you look at like the last 50 years, you look at the S&P 500, right? Like the 500 biggest companies in the US, and you had invested in that consistently, you would have got, I don't know the exact number, but let's call it 10%. Like 10%. It's 10% returns. Yeah. Now, if you had over that same period of time, and this is more of like a reflection on our economy than anything. Yeah. If you had taken the S&P 1, so just invest in the largest company by market cap over that same period of time, same rate of investment, the returns are like ridiculous. It's
much higher. Yeah.
It's like 30, 40, 50%, which is just funny. It just kind of shows you how top heavy our market is, right? Like imagine every
completely
paycheck.
Agree. Yeah.
You could just buy again, not financial advice, not a financial.
Yeah.
Advisor,
we should add Matt and I.
We don't know what we're talking about.
No, we're just slinging. We're just having some fun, baby. Yeah.
But again, I was just watching, I saw like a clip on it and it's crazy. Like especially in the last 10 years, like I can't remember what it was first. It was like Alphabet was it for a while. So Google, now it's NVIDIA.
Yeah.
But if you had just put your money purely in the biggest market cap company every paycheck, and as soon as it got overtaken, just then start putting it in that new one. Because people invest very defensively. And so they tend to just like to buy those big, what feel like anchor companies. Yeah. And especially more recently with like our, big 5 tech companies. There's so much money just going into the biggest market cap stock that kind of feels like it can't fail.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a huge amount of risk if you do that, because
I agree.
But
I think you're spot on with the S&P 500 though. You can explain. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So the S&P 500 is so tech heavy at the top.
Yeah.
I know people have gotten a little bit worried about that. Like, wow, okay, we have so much put into these certain companies. The S&P 500 is not going to go up forever like it has been going for the last few years here. But are you a little bit like, do you see a little bit of that? Like, we're a little too heavy on these certain companies. Hopefully we can. I mean, NVIDIA has been amazing, by the way. Like, it's incredible, the growth of this company. So, I am lucky enough, like I have a lot of it actually, but through mutual funds, so you can get NVIDIA in a mutual fund and you don't get quite the same growth. I agree. It's like, it's not what NVIDIA got as a single stock, because NVIDIA, let's say it's at 20% in a mutual fund, you'll get some of the growth, but you missed out on, let's say, 40% or so per year. You don't get quite the same thing. But it feels pretty good when you're like at 15 to 20% on a steady yearly gain. And, once you get into the millions, we're talking that's a lot of money, right? So you're flipping money pretty quickly, which is the whole point of long-term investing. You're not looking to make $100,000 per year when you're 20, but when you're 40, you should be making close to, 100,000 per year, if not more, in your long-term investments, right? And that's kind of the play that people should be listening to, is not so much at 20, am I trying to be a millionaire? But when I'm 40, I want to make a shitload of money in the wealth I created, right? So, but Matt, I think what you're saying, and sorry, dive into it deeper, but if you just put your money into Google, or if you just put your money into NVIDIA, the top level company in the S&P 500, you'd blow most people out of the water, right?
You would have done very well. Like looking back today, and again, obviously there's things that can happen that would tank that. And like the risk profile is obviously not as good as if you're buying 500 companies through a mutual fund. But it's just funny, like if you look back, that actually would have been an insanely successful investment strategy. Yeah. And who knows whether it will continue to be. But like that would be kind of like the unicorn case for like, you should invest in SpaceX. Like if it becomes the next big anchor of our economy. Yeah. But a lot has to happen, like scientifically and economically, for SpaceX to get to those next levels. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, definitely the only thing that is kind of guaranteed or close to guaranteed to work is just pick a percent of your paycheck that you can afford to not live with, treat it like a expense, put it in the market in mutual funds, and then just don't think about it. Yeah. Because that's the only way you're going to basically guarantee that, 30 years from now, you're in a good place.
And I like the dollar cost averaging stuff that you were saying, like, hey, every month I'm going to buy, this percentage of this, if you are a stock person, great, mutual fund or S&P 500, right? That makes a lot of sense, because it's like, if I love SpaceX, so some people love this company, they're going to do it, right? They don't really care what I'm saying. But if they're like, hey, I really want this company, just do it like, monthly, buy your whatever amount of shares, let's call it, 10, 15 shares per month. Sometimes it will be at $200 a share. Sometimes it will be at $150 a share. It's going to bounce around, obviously. But if you look at 10 years from today, because I've done this now, I'm old enough where I've seen this happen where, I bought a company at, let's say, $20 a share with a mutual fund, right? And then I kind of see over like 10-year change. I'm like, I didn't really even like think about it that hard. I mean, I know companies, they grow. Amazon's a big part of the mutual funds I had when I was like 30 years old. I got a ton of Amazon in my mutual funds, and they went from like 20 to like 60 or 65. So, it's like, I didn't really have, like, I'm just sitting back creating wealth.
And you didn't think about it either, right?
Yeah.
You just,
and most people, that's the biggest part. Yeah. Like, I think Matt and I, we might dabble in the stock market a little differently than most, but if you're just like that general person that's like, I don't really want to look at this stuff. I don't want to dabble all the time. I don't want to check on it. It's kind of crazy when you're like, hey, if you just kind of continually do this stuff, it just works, right? As long as you're picking the right stuff, of course. Like if you're picking terrible companies, never mind. But if you're picking, I mean, NVIDIA is a good example. Amazon's a good example. Apple, Google, all these companies, they have just continued to grow, and it's been amazing growth. And it's been like, holy crap, I didn't realize if I just put money in these certain things, it's going to turn out pretty well for me. So you can kind of sit back, and I've heard the advice with the investing world, don't look at it. Just let it go. You decided to do this with your 15 to 20% of your money. Don't check on it every day. And I think that's where people run into the fear-based stuff, right? I've now gone through COVID. I've gone through cycles of up and down with my money, right? And when it becomes a lot of money, you're looking at it like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But Matt and I, we've been through enough where we've seen our money go down enough where it scares you. But I'll be honest, I had no fear. What I thought when COVID happened, because the money got wiped out, right? 15 to 20% based on what you were investing in. I sat there and I'm like, well, I have cash, so I'm going to go ahead and put more money in because it's all on sale right now. So that's the best advice for people. Don't get scared. The U.S. market, the U.S. economy is so amazing, and it's like it will come back, right? Like the war that just ended, or the operation, as Donald Trump calls it. We had slides down. We had buying opportunities, in my opinion, right? So I was sitting just waiting. Honestly, like I sound ridiculous. I'm not trying to be cocky, but I made a shitload of money because I just sat there and waited because I knew something would go down a lot. And then I bought it, and I knew it was just a short-term little blip, and bam, right back up. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be patient with the market, you will make money, right? That's another little thing. A lot of people tell you not to time the market. It just depends on who you are. I'm just saying, if you're one of these people that can be wise with money, and you can be patient, and you don't get fearful, you can actually just sit there. You can dollar cost average on almost all the things you do, but you could be patient and realize, like, in these short-term blips like COVID, like the U.S. Iran operation, right? There's been a few other things that have happened in the last 6 or 7 years. I've made a lot of money on those little dips that are fake. They're not real. And
it's all psychology.
It's all psychology. And it's like, but again, we're talking to the wall. Like Matt and I are more similar, I think, on investing than different. But I think a lot of America struggles with that. I think they really get caught up in, oh, I just lost, $20,000. Get me out of the market. And they, don't do that. You just sit there and you're just like, okay, it's going to come back. Like, don't get so freaked out about these little things that happen. If there's a recession and you're 70 years old and you need that money, of course, that's a little bit different. But I'm saying more of the people in our age group who, hey, man, you have a lot of time. Like, it's going to be okay. Don't get impatient. Don't jump off the roller coaster, right? Mm-hmm. Also, when the blips happen, the 10 to 15% drop in the market and certain things you like, have some cash on the side and be ready, because that's actually that's where the gain of wealth can happen faster. And I've actually done this for myself now, where it's like, I see growth, it's like now I just gained 10 to 15% of artificial growth because the market went down for no reason, and it came back within 2 weeks. I'm like, that's pretty ridiculous. If you really, cheating, it does. It feels like, oh, that's kind of weird how that worked for me. Yeah. But I've gotten so patient with this stuff. Like, I just realized, because I've been around and done it so long now, it's like, I'm doing nothing for short-term plays. Nothing I do in the stock market is short-term. Nothing is, this company's hyped up, I'm going to throw a bunch of money at it. Because I don't know if you remember, Matt, I don't know if you threw any money at Donald Trump, the media, the stock, because people got crazy with the stock. And it went crazy at, the valuation was so high, and then it freaking just went to nothing. Yeah. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, too many people throw all their money at stuff like that. Yeah. Where they could just be sitting there, and NVIDIA, Apple, or some of these good companies that we've been talking about are just waiting for you, and they just are going to continue to get better, right? So
you got to be careful about those volatile stocks. Like, you got to look at how much, if you really want to break it down, like the biggest things to look at are what's the market cap, how much money is in this thing, and what's the trading volume, like how much money is coming and going.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some golden ratio of like when the trading volume gets to a certain percent of the market cap, it's like don't touch that one because it's volatile and everyone's moving it. And if something comes out that changes sentiment, there could be massive sell-offs that just compound. Because you can also tell like when a stock is in that state, most people in it are trying to flip it. Like they're trying to make money off of it. It's an active market.
Yeah.
And they're way more susceptible to just rug pulling you if something goes sideways.
Which I think happened with the Trump, the Trump stock. It was bad. I mean, people lost a lot of money quickly because, they believed in Donald Trump and the stock and all the stuff, and he was hyping it up, and people made some money short term, but within 2 or 3 months, like, holy crap, I lost a ton of money if I just sat and waited, right? Yeah. So that one was a tough one. I don't think SpaceX is that. I think it's a long-term company that's going to be okay.
Well, they have a little bit more, I don't know. In my mind, they have a little bit more of a just foundation because they do have, like, even though some of the science is still like theory and it's similar to Tesla where like they have these novel concepts and a clear like proof of concept of where they're trying to lead the economy, but like it's going to take time. Like it's not an immediate thing. They're dependent on a lot of other things happening politically, economically, scientifically. Like it's going to take time. It's going to be a slow burn. So yeah, if you believe in that mission, there's no reason you can't. If you truly believe, there's no reason you can't spread out your buying over a couple of years.
I think Elon will have flying cars. No, I'm serious. Like I think
probably will.
He'll have flying cars, but they're robo taxis. There's no human driving them.
Dude, I
think that's going to be happening.
His vision 10 years ago or 20 years ago with the Boring Company was he wanted to build these. It wasn't flying. It was all like underground tunnels. He wanted to have a fleet of self-driving cars that go underneath the ground when you're not using them into these like.
Which he has some in Vegas. He has one in.
Drilled a couple of them.
Saudi Arabia,
maybe.
I think he made a deal with Saudis.
Really?
He has one in Vegas. I know.
Yeah, but I mean that was his whole vision. Was no one actually owns their car. He's got this like Uber service.
Yeah.
With a bunch of Teslas that just pull up and you ride share. So I don't know. Maybe I'm sure he said he was going to do it 15 years ago. I'm sure he's still working on it.
I think it's behind the scenes. I think this is what SpaceX might become.
Yeah.
Tesla will become a part of SpaceX, right? I think they will have autonomous robo taxis that are driving or flying.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see this within the next 10 to 15 years. And I think you'll be able to push a button to say where you want to go, and you're not going to have to drive.
You use your Neuralink to call it.
Exactly. I mean, this is going to happen. I mean, so SpaceX 10-year plan for sure. Like I actually see like, holy crap, this could be amazing.
He's a visionary. It's just like, but also, or he eats like a chicken bone and he falls over dead and then he loses all your money. So you gotta be careful.
You gotta be careful with something. But I think this will come through. I think he's going to see that through. I think he's going to have the whole robo taxi figured out. And I know some places are fighting against some of his stuff that he's doing, but I don't know, the safety tests and all the things that he's done. They're actually showing that he's building these cars and they're safer than a human driving a car at this point.
Yeah.
So let's just be fair with it. Like the proof is in the pudding. He's actually now producing really safe things that could change our society. I just meant on SpaceX earlier when I said like the financials don't make sense yet. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to say. I'm not saying Elon is crazy, amazing, a genius and all those things, right? But I just would be a little bit careful in today's world to put a bunch of money in SpaceX.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in 5 years you shouldn't. I'm not saying if you have a lot of money, I probably would put money in SpaceX. Yes, I would if I was a trillionaire, right? And all these people that have $1 trillion, they're slamming this stock. They love it, right? They love this stock.
And wealthy people, like the most common thing is that they're not emotional with their money.
Exactly.
Right? So
they don't care as much.
Yeah. The best advice is like when you feel greedy, sell. When you feel fearful, buy. Like kind of get a read on your emotions. Look at like, maybe you're feeling like, oh, I'm going to miss out on this opportunity. Like take a step back, ask yourself like, if he's going to actually, like if you're buying SpaceX today and your goal is they're going to 10X, there's going to be a lot of things that actually tangibly happen on their journey to 10X.
Yeah.
If you feel like if I don't buy today, I'm missing out, like the time scale of you missing out, quote unquote, is so tiny compared to what actually has to happen for SpaceX to 10X as a stock. So that's an emotional decision. Like take a step back from that.
Yeah.
And then more likely than not, there will be a time where you're looking at SpaceX and you're saying to yourself, man, this thing crashed. It's worthless. Everyone got fooled. And then go and like read their science, and then they're still going to be trying to do the same thing. And it's like when that day comes where you're like, oh, those poor losers who bought SpaceX and lost all their money, that's probably the time to buy, because nothing is changing in terms of what they're doing for their business, for their science, for their like their politics and their lobbying. So just get a read and check your emotions before you click buy or sell, for that matter. So,
and SpaceX is a hard one, right? Because it is so different. I will just say it that way. Like, it's different than a lot of these IPOs that are coming out. I mean, I do believe in the 10-year plan with him, though. I think in 10 years he'll have some pretty cool stuff going. So,
dude, I mean, if you look at that man's life, like every 10 years, what he's doing, and he makes good on like these things he says. Which
I'm not going to doubt it about him. Yeah, I'm not going to doubt him. I mean, seriously, I just in the short term, I'm a little bit hesitant, but long term, I see like I really think the car thing, the satellite stuff he's doing, the Starlink, the AI stuff. He just bought an AI company, I think, yesterday. So it's like, I think Tesla, SpaceX, it will be all very interconnected. The only other thing I've seen is like they said in their prospectus that they're going to try to mine asteroids. Again, it's like, it's all kind of like sci-fi stuff, but I don't know if I should sit here and say he won't figure it out, because I have no idea. Like, how am I supposed to know? But I guess, that's kind of what you're saying is like,
if
just
they're going to mine asteroids,
you're
not going to miss out on this opportunity. Like, there will be signs that they're going to mine asteroids.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. I'm just saying. So that's like a sci-fi movie or something. But, do you want to close out today? Cause it's like 2:05. Anything else that you're feeling that kind of big news in the last week that you want to talk about, Goggins? Or,
I mean, I think we got to talk a little bit about Giannis.
Okay.
I think we got to talk about our,
Why don't you start with us?
I mean, just want to shout out Giannis. He commented on one of our Instagram reels, which is sick.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kyle was saying something awesome on the reel. He was just talking about kind of the quality of Giannis as a man and as like a dad, and just kind of his depth of character, why he's not the kind of guy that would just fly to whatever super team they're putting together. And the fact that he commented, it's funny because like it didn't really surprise me that if you'd show that to Giannis, he would comment. And I think that just speaks like more to his character of like, he'd see two guys in Grafton who were just talking about him, and he would take the 10 seconds to make our day. Yeah. So, I mean, just awesome dude. And I think that was, gave us some more energy to keep doing this podcast. So, very cool.
We really appreciate it, Giannis. I mean, that actually was like, when we all kind of realized what had happened, we're like, is this real? Is this guy, and it's just cool that Giannis is willing to like look around, see certain things that he maybe, I mean, obviously he agreed with what we were kind of saying, but I think that's special. Like, he's an international superstar, has no reason to look around Instagram for you and I or anybody saying anything, but he happened to see what we said, and he gave a pray with a heart with like the Bucks color. And he loved our reel. Not only commented, loved our reel. And I think Matt, so this is what I was telling Matt the other day. Matt, actually, this is all his idea, this podcast. About a year later, Giannis comments on one of our reels. To us, I think it feels like, man, all the work that we did, the behind the scenes thing that are going on, and Matt had been editing and doing all kinds of things that I don't do. I mean, I just kind of show up and do this. So I think it really makes you feel better about it, because you're like, this guy actually sees what we did, right? Like, I think that's pretty cool. So it made all of us feel better on this team, I think. So pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it fits right in with, we were just talking about SpaceX and like how growth happens and kind of like fits and starts. Yeah. And when you look at any one event, like there's nothing that really attributes the growth or the momentum of the endeavor you're doing. But then like when you zoom out, all of it together is what makes, an effort or a business or a podcast or a team what they are. And to me, that was just a cool moment of like, we're not going gangbusters. We're not like a top. We have like whatever, 3 steady listeners. And 3 of them are sitting in this room. 2.5 of them are in this room.
The greatest 3 listeners ever, anyways.
But it is cool. Like, it's a checkpoint, right? Like, it's going to be a memory for us in whatever this podcast turns into. Like, now we can put that checkpoint on on our calendar and say like, hey, Giannis saw one of our reels. He commented on it. He gave us some support, gave us some love, and it's awesome. So wherever we're headed next, it puts a little more gas in our tank. And I think, it definitely makes me want to keep doing it and keep finding other ways to have a positive impact and kind of grow our community and just keep having fun with this thing. So very cool feedback from the man himself. So, I
mean, it's pretty amazing. If you think about our local market, because Matt and I, we're in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, doing this podcast right now. We are 20 minutes from Milwaukee, right? So we're like 20, 25 minutes from the Fiserv Forum where Giannis plays. It feels more to me, that's why it's a big deal is someone that's so close to where we're actually doing this podcast said that. Now, if it was someone in LA, like, Matt Stafford commented on some stuff we said, that's also cool.
We would take Matt Stafford.
Yeah. We would take Matt Stafford.
Studio, Matt.
Yeah.
We got some.
Hey man, we'll take
some rewards to give you actually.
We'll take anything. But it feels like so rewarding because someone's so close to where we actually are. And he's an international superstar. He's a big deal, right? He took a second to say, "Oh man, that's pretty cool." And I just want to invite, Thanasis, Giannis, any of these guys on this podcast because we are actually really close to where they live. And Matt Goggins here, like I'm telling you, like the amount of work he put into this, I cannot believe. A little over a year from when we started in a dungeon in his basement, I cannot believe where we're at today and getting Giannis, to comment on it. And I love Giannis. That was a big moment for me personally, but for our whole company, this whole team loved that moment, right? But if you guys want to come on this podcast, this is a big deal. Like we'll have you over. And that's all the credit. So that's all the credit, Matt. I just want to Matt, you set this all up. That would not have happened without your efforts. And, it's a big deal, man. So it's it's so special when those things start happening. And it's not right now, it's not like this huge money-based thing that we're doing, right? And I've told Matt how many times, I show up not because of the money, because that's not why we're doing it.
If you were showing up here for the money, I'd have some bad news.
Yeah. He'd have to be like, well,
we are severely in debt at the Raspberry.
He's like, here's 1 penny I got for it. No, I'm kidding. But no, we don't do it for the money, right? It's truly we love doing this, but it does inspire you to keep pushing yourself to do more with it. And obviously for our end, it's a big deal that we're here and we love it. So it's it's pretty cool. But if Giannis, Thanasis, any of those guys want to come up here, we're really close actually, or we can go down to their studio. I don't care, but
if one of them says they got something to say and they want to say it with us in the room, I'm there.
Yeah.
So
especially as Giannis fans, we know the loyalty he shows, right?
Yeah.
We're not just I think this is maybe what maybe he senses, maybe not, but I think we truly, this is how we feel. We are telling the exact feelings we have on these situations with anything we talk about. This isn't just Giannis. It's all the things we try to portray here is it's the authentic self. It's we are truly, this is what we think. I don't think all podcasters are like that. I think a lot of them are selling something. Which they're making money. I get it. But I think a lot of people on the airwaves, they're selling some crazy thing just because it gets them a few more listeners. They make more money. I've never done that. Obviously I'm doing this for free, but I think that would always be the case with us. I think we're always going to be authentic. I think we're going to tell the truth of what we think. So Giannis and Thanasis come on. We'll have a truthful conversation and authentic conversation. So yeah,
it'd be fun.
Yeah,
no, but they're great guys, great family, and looking forward to wherever Giannis stays or goes. I think we're all going to be fans of him for a long time.
Yeah,
we've always, admired what he does and what he's all about. Yeah. So it'll be a fun time.
And just remember, Giannis, take a 5-year deal for a little bit less money than you have to. Okay. Then we can go get Anthony Edwards and we're good. All right.
There you go.
Good.
Get this guy in the locker room. Get Kyle on the Bucks.
I think, hey man, I'll be the 15th guy on your bench. I don't know. I'll figure this out.
Yeah, that solves everything.
I'll play some defense, bro.
I can see him out there.
Yeah. I'd play defense. That's it. I'm not shooting that basketball, but I'll get up in your face. I'll defend you. Yeah. PJ Tucker level, but way shorter and not as athletic. All right.
No, you'd have them locked down.
Yeah,
No one's doing anything.
I think I would. You know, Kevin Durant. You're no shots on me. I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to push you into the half court line. You're not moving me. You understand? All right. Yeah. You understand? So they got PJ Tucker for that reason, right?
Dude, I don't think that Wemby could get around you.
I don't think so.
Honestly. Give him 10 tries. He's not scoring them.
Goggins, can I tell you, I was at the Spurs Bucks game where Giannis was defending Wemby. One of the most spectacular events in my life in sports, right? I'm not even joking. Giannis versus Wemby is one of the most ridiculous matchups you'll ever see in your life, right? Mm-hmm. You got a 7'4" dude against a 6'11" freak, and Giannis was pushing him into the half court line. Giannis dominated Wemby. So I'm actually very intrigued by one, Giannis is going to sign a 5-year deal for less money because he's hearing our podcast about this. Obviously, he's going to listen to me. And then we're going to sign Anthony Edwards, right? We're going to make a run to the finals next year to play against Wemby. Everyone will understand Giannis is more of a freak than Wemby. Giannis is a physical freak. He is so muscular at his size and can move in a different way. And I think Wemby's great, but Giannis would dominate him. And I've seen it up close. Like I've been at these games where he's defending Wemby. Giannis is the better player. Like I'm not even like people don't realize this.
There's no doubt.
But people in the media are doubting this. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't realize, because I've actually seen them play against each other. This isn't me just like spitballing. Like
if you put Giannis on that Spurs roster, this last finals, the Spurs win.
Agreed.
That's the difference.
Agreed. Yeah. Giannis is better than Wemby, and I don't think people in the media know that. Yeah. I think they're selling this whole Wemby story. Don't get me wrong. Wemby's a good player. We're not trashing Wemby, but Giannis is at such a different level to me athletically and physically. And I don't disagree, Goggins. I think I could defend Wemby, but he's going to shoot over my ass. You know, I'm 6'2". He's going to just pop right over me. That's going to be a problem, you know, but hey, I'll push him around, but you know,
I don't think he's shooting more than 20% from half court. So it would be a good game.
I mean, his ass isn't moving me anywhere near the 3-point line. You're right. So I get it, but Griff, you got anything? You got anything to say?
No, just good stuff. I think you're locking up Wemby for sure.
All right, I think we should end on that note.
Last thing,
that's gonna be
shout
the real
out
life
Knicks.
shit.
Congrats, Knicks, on the championship. That's a big deal for New York. So I was glad to see that happen.
Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson. What do you think about that? Yeah, congrats, Knicks. Congrats, Jalen. What do you think about the Rick Brunson, Jalen Brunson thing?
Can you walk me? You mean that he was such a part of it, or what?
Yeah, so Rick Brunson, assistant coach on the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. His son, Jalen, MVP of the finals, right? I think that's pretty crazy. Like, I don't know if I've seen a story like that where your dad is an assistant coach on the bench. I don't know if I've ever heard of that, where a coach is a dad of a player that's a finals MVP. Yeah. I think that's pretty crazy because I cannot remember one situation where that's happened. Can you? Can you guys?
No, I don't remember anything like that. All I know about is I just saw like the video of them celebrating, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's so cool. So I don't know if that would ever happen in my lifetime. If I could be on a bench with my daughter winning a championship at that level, which would be the WNBA or whatever, World Cup, or, which I'm not going to be a coach at that level, but it's like, that's so crazy that no one's really talking enough about that. Like, I cannot believe his dad was on that freaking bench for the Knicks coaching his son. I think that's special. I think that's underreported stuff right there. Like the media should be all over this story. And I'm sure they're
true. I only saw it on like an Instagram clip.
They haven't been covering it enough. Yeah. It's like the Barry Bonds, played with his dad. Right. Griffey had a similar situation with baseball. LeBron and Bronny. This has happened in multiple moments where they're playing together. I've never seen a situation where dad, son have won a championship though. And I don't think I've ever recalled a time where a coach and a son won a championship.
What about Doc? Yeah, not the same thing. Different ending, but Doc and his son. Did he ever coach his son?
I don't know.
I feel like he might have.
Maybe he did. Sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Story, different ending if they did.
That's a good question. But, we should look in that deeper. Our team on the background, they'll be looking this up. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay.
We'll get back to you in 2 weeks.
We'll get back. Stay tuned. I have no idea. But no, I think that's pretty special. Yeah. I heard from different sources. So Rick Brunson was really, really tough on Jalen as a kid. I don't know. I mean, again, I have not looked into Rick Brunson that much. I'm sorry. I don't know the whole story here, but I'm just going to talk about just the one thing that he was on a bench with his son celebrating a championship. And I think as a father, like that's pretty crazy, right? You never would expect that as a father that you're going to be a coach on a team at that level for your son or daughter. So I just want to shout out that. Again, I'm not defending or saying good or bad things about Rick Brunson because I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. But just I'm talking about the situation that he was in with Jalen, his son. That's crazy awesome. I just love that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, congrats to the Brunsons. I think that was very well deserved. I felt like the more deserving team won, so I was happy to see it. And I really like Karl Anthony Towns and the storyline with his mom and that whole just his commitment throughout the whole series was cool to see. So yeah, I was happy to see the Knicks take it home.
Yeah.
And that's the last one they're gonna get because the Bucks are coming for it.
The Bucks are coming. So Giannis,
Enjoy it
5-year
while it
deal.
lasts, boys.
Anthony Edwards in a trade. We'll have the 10th pick. We'll get Nate Ament from Tennessee. We'll have KPJ Rollins, AJ Green. We're going to have a dynamic team next year. Giannis and Thanasis, come on the show. All right.
See you boys soon.
Too easy.